Howdy. Welcome. Happy New Year, everybody. For those of you who didn't see me on New Year's Day, which was Thursday, hello and Happy New Year. I'm Tiffany, your host of Sew Sunday, where we sew on a Sunday. And as you can tell by the background, that's what I'm going to sew, is what we started last Sunday. It's taken a whole year to do that project.
Darn right.
Doesn't it feel like it, though? Really? I mean, it takes forever sometimes. All right, let's see who is all here. We've got Joyce, Kim, Mary, Leanne, Linda, Ruby, Jacqueline, Karen, Gloria, Ann, Donna, Grace, Claudia, Lori, Terry, Edie, Geraldine, and so many more. Hello and welcome, everybody. All right, I don't need those. So last Sunday we were working on triangles, where we took my triangle ruler, which is 60 degree, but I also have a smaller one that I was cutting my 4.5s from. We made triangles out of 10 fat quarters. So we cut 2.5-inch strips, which would be these little guys, and subcut into our triangles, which we made 108 2.5-inch triangles from that. And then we cut 4.5-inch triangles. Here's one right here. And those we cut 58 of those from our one 4.5-inch strip. And then we cut one 8.5-inch strip, which gave us, I don't even remember how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. We got 28 8.5-inch triangles. See, I knew I missed a number of putting it all on here. And then also the end pieces, I said that we can cut whatever. So I cut 2 because I needed to fill this in. I cut 2 8.5-inch strips of my background color just recently because I said I needed to figure this out. And then in total, we cut for our background fabric 6 2.5-inch strips, subcut into a bunch of 2.5-inch triangles. And then I actually cut 8, but we don't need 8 because I have a bunch extra. I don't need the extra. And then from the 4.5-inch, we cut 8 4.5-inch strips and then subcut all that up into triangles. And I didn't have much left over that. I think I filled that all the way up. And then from 2 8.5-inch strips, I cut 1, 2, where am I at? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I cut 8 8.5-inch triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. And then on the ends, I cut 8 half triangles, which on your triangle ruler, if you have a corner cut, there's a corner cut that I can't use from my background fabric. If you line up this line, like if it was this direction right here and this was your triangle, and you put this center line, the farthest one out on the line, and then cut it, there would give you your half with your 1/2 inch corner on there, which is the tip. So I needed 4 from one direction and 4 from another direction, which I wasn't able to get fully because the selvage is sticking out right here. But guess what? I don't care because that selvage is less than 1/4 inch worth of it. So it should hide in the seam allowance. And then I cut 8 of the solids. And then I just, every other one on the wall. So I ran out of certain colors. So I just filled it in with the solid at the bottom, a little bit on the top. And guess what? That's the way it's going to stay because we're going to sew this together now, add a border. And then I said I'd go dig through my fabric room and try to find the, I knew I saw something. Chantilly is the name by Joanna Figueroa from Fig Tree and Company for Moda. I didn't have that exactly, but I do realize I recognize the flower. This flower is the same as those flowers. It's just on a yellowish background, which matches all the other yellows in there. And this is called, for the border, I mean, for the second border, Avalon by Joanna Figueroa for Fig Tree and Company by Moda. So another line had the same exact flowers in it, and I'm just going to use this as the border. I knew I saw something similar. So same designer drew the same flowers but for a different line. Go figure. So that is what I'm going to use for border number 2, but border number 1 will be the peach. But now we have to assemble this, and it's triangles. So those of you who have never pieced triangles before, I'm going to show you how. And I'm just going to stand to do most of this because I really don't need to sit. I'm going to be back and forth 500 bazillion times. No. So my end row starts with a half triangle, okay? So if that was the end, goes right here, then the next triangle is going to go on it, right sides together, and guess what's going to match? Your little cutoffs are going to match. I didn't cut off the ends of the half triangles though, but they should match. Because, you know, I didn't do that. But it will match. Now I just got to very carefully lay it on it and sew a 1/4 inch seam. Then I'm going to, it really doesn't matter, I'm just going to press right, left. Actually, I'll just press all one way and then all the other. So I'm going to grab another one. And that obviously goes next to that. And then you just start sewing them together just as you would with any other row, except these are triangles. And then I'm just going to press that towards that way. And then when I get the whole row done, then I'll iron. For now, I'm just going to grab the next one, line it up, and sew it on. Press it. Honestly, it doesn't matter which way. In this one, looks like I probably should have trimmed these other triangles, you know, because I'm going to lose that point right there. Guess what? I don't care. I don't care at the moment. All right, lay the next one on here. And sew it over and over until all is up. So you just make rows. And then you sew the rows together. Oops, I'm going that way with all the seams. Yep, finger pressing them all. Grab the next and sew it. Okay, next. See how easy this is? It's not that hard. It's just hard because they're sideways. Every time you sew one on, you're tilting your row. What? There is a 1/4 overhang. If some of them have the tips and some of them don't. So some of them have the 1/4 overhang and some of them don't.
How can you tell if you're going to lose the point?
I know I'm going to lose the point because, can you see that right there? It's not straight. I have lost the point from here to here. And I don't care. No big deal. in my brain. I'm
Is
still sewing it all together.
each of the sides of the triangle on the bias, or just some?
Some are on the bias and some are not. I probably should have trimmed all those though, but that's okay. Oops, nope, I'm pressing this way. Yeah, they're, you know, a little on the wonky side, but I'm not the greatest piecer in the world, so who cares? Because I don't.
You're good.
As long as everything is held together with the 1/4 inch seam, what does it matter? You know?
Will you trim that off before putting rows together?
Yes, I will trim off this. See how there's a point here? I will trim those off when I go to put the rows together. I'm going to trim this whole top part anyway because it's a little on the wonky side. But that's okay.
Can we plug the iron in?
Yes, please.
Come on, iron it in.
No, I will.
Fancy.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to which way the bias was, the side on the sides, and which way come from the straighter grain when I put all this together. So some of it's going to stretch and some of it's probably not going to stretch at all. And that's okay. Just watch it. So slow. Don't try to force anything through. Let the machine do the work. And everything should match up nicely-ish. Like, see, here my points are nice, right here. But here, they are not. And I could take that apart and adjust it, but I'm not going to. Why? Because I don't want to. This is just a lap quilt that's going to be made to be used, not to hang on a wall or anything.
Well, it's for sale. They can do whatever they want with it.
And there's probably only going to be 2 or 3 different triangles that'll lose the points or be off a little bit. Trying to match it up as nice as I can. Once I press everything, though, it might lay even better. All right, and then this piece on the end lines up, point to there, cut off to there, and turn it. So there's a lot of turning. It's nice to have a desk that's big enough on the side of you. All right, I'm gonna press that this way. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and press this whole row. And then, that's a pretty good sized quilt this is gonna be. So only one block in there is funkified. I can probably work that into a 1/4 inch seam, honestly. All right. With taking seams away, you can tell it got a lot smaller. This is a pretty good sized quilt for 10 fat quarters. Next row, just going to do that same thing. Like I said, some of these have the little dog ear cut off, some do not. Honestly, you know what? Give me the
Little iron?
just the iron itself.
Oh. You're gonna whoa, don't put your hand there.
We're just gonna press as we go.
You almost grabbed the plate there, my love. Gotta be careful where you're.
All right, press as we go. How about that?
the cord's on the wrong side for you. You want me to plug it in over there?
No, yeah, actually do that.
It's not all in your line?
Yep.
It'll stay hot. Be all for 2 seconds here. Back on. Right?
Yep. Next. These are pretty fun to do, triangle quilts. You can also like create stars out of them. Or whatever you wish. I mean, it's your quilt. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. But yeah, if you look, let's see, let's find a spot. Here's a piece right here that comes out and creates a star. Just by that. It's hard to see it. But if I took it all off the wall and then, pointed it out, you would see it better. But
I see it better on the camera than what you just pointed out. When I stare at the thing on the camera, I can kind of see. So maybe they can see it better. Looking at it on the wall. Yeah, on the camera?
yeah.
I do.
Yeah, I'm going to trim all these rows, I think. Whether I lose my points or not. I probably should trim the blocks, but that's okay. That one hung over quite a bit. This one is not. Stay up there, you dumb piece. So apparently it's the 3-pieced ones that are hanging over a little bit more than they should be. This one is not, though, which is weird. Oh, and in case you're curious, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 across, and then the 2 ends. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down.
It rained here on New Year's Eve too, so we didn't have any fireworks.
Yeah, it rained here on New Year's Eve too. There was some fireworks, but not like it usually was. It wasn't until the next night. Then people started lighting off their fireworks. Got kind of lucky with that because usually people will blow fireworks until 3 or 4 in the morning, which makes no sense to me. Yeah, Scott said that they were going at 3 by the time He got up to go to the gym. So like right here, there's a little dog ear. These can all get trimmed off. I have a bunch of them. You know, just trim them off like this. Each time I make a row. However you want to do it. All right, that on there, and then get that end piece on. Yeah. This whole row, you can see, has dog ears on the ends. And I can clip those off, or I can just get them all before I sew the rows together. Right now, I'm just going to sew all the rows together, and then I'll trim off all the dog ears before I sew them. It can't be too bad. They're lining up. The rows are exactly the same, so they can't be too pieced funkily. All right, this row is now going to go towards the other direction.
Sell the wool pressing mat?
Huh?
Do any of our links
A lot of places sell wool pressing mats now.
which do any of ours, like that quarter shop, connecting thread?
I'm pretty sure they do. You'd have to look. Check my links. All right, next. This way. Yeah, a lot of the places probably sell them. All right, I'm going to try to match this one up because I didn't do very good on the previous one. I got them on top of each other. Oh yeah, much better. Not perfect, but a lot better than my previous row that had those next to each other. Matching those seams up. I tried to press everything towards the peach in most cases. That way, when this one is next to this one, that they're opposite direction and you can nest the corners. So I pressed everything towards the background.
Can you teach them how to read a simple pattern?
Can I teach how to read a simple pattern? I mean, I don't know.
You don't do well.
I don't do well with other people's patterns.
That's why you make it.
That's why I always make my own. I mean, if it says WOF, that means with the fabric. If it says, trying to think of other things that confused me because I didn't learn all those little acronyms for things, you know? trying to think of other ones. HST is half square triangles. So if it says that in a pattern, then you're making half square triangles. QST is quarter square triangle. You know, things like that. A lot of patterns have it written that way. I can't think of any. I can't think of other things that.
Do you have any idea
How to what?
Do you have any idea how to do that?
How to clean a wool ironing mat? I don't know. I've never had to clean mine before. I do know if you wet them, they're going to smell like dog.
Yeah.
Because every time I spill water on it and then heat it up with the iron, it smells like a wet dog in here, which I don't like that smell, and that's why I never wanted to get wool ironing mats, but then I ended up with them, and
you use them?
And I use them now. I wasn't going to when I first got them, though. The first one that I have, which is in the fabric room now. But I don't know how to clean them. Probably. Most people probably just go and get a new one, depending on what they got all over it, you know. You could probably just take it to the kitchen sink and scrub it with one of those brush type scrubbies with some soap and then let it air dry. That would be the way I would do it. Which way was I going? Oh, that way.
Have you ever done a medallion quilt?
A medallion quilt, medallion. I'm trying to think. No, I don't think so. I don't think I've done a medallion quilt. It's not perfect, but it'll do.
What is a medallion?
I have no idea.
Well,
That's why I know I didn't do one. I don't
Yeah.
know what a medallion quilt is.
Okay then.
Unless it's something I have done and I just don't know the other names for things.
Because that's true.
Because I've done a lot of stuff on my own that I come up with, and there's already stuff out there about it, like similar to what I've done or almost exactly the same. I'll tell you guys a little story. I did a triangle quilt once, a long time ago, and what did I call it? It looked like oh my gosh, the word black and white. Remember the black, white, and gray quilt I did that was triangles? Karen probably knows it, or Jim.
There's a bunch of pictures of them.
Well, then technically I have the nautical ones that I've done would be like that. Technically, it's a medallion in the center. I'm trying to think, black, white, and gray. What did I call that? Tuxedo stars. I made that tuxedo stars video, and guess what happened? 3 or 4 months later, maybe more than 3 or 4 months later, another YouTuber made a pattern. She's not just a YouTuber, she's a pattern designer. I forgot her name, but she went and made one too. And then I got this video that popped up. It was almost exactly the same. My measurements were different, but it was pretty much the same style quilt. And hers was done after I did mine. So a lot of people do the same thing. What is her name? She's a big person.
Well, either way, it goes from a center square and a bunch of wood.
It goes from a center what?
Yeah, it's a big center medallion, a center square block, and then smaller rows of frames that go around it.
Yeah, I've done similar, yeah, but I never called it a medallion quilt.
medallion is just the central block with borders around it.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many different pictures here. These aren't all exactly the same.
So it's like building around a panel even. Can be a medallion quilt. You could just take a center and build around it.
Most of the center blocks are sort of
rounded.
Star fancy. No, only this one's round. Well, no, some of these are
those
rounded.
are stars with half square triangles.
This one's a square though.
Those look like
Rounded.
drunkard's paths around that one to make it look round.
Oh no, that has a round.
Yeah, I've done lots of quilts like that then. I just didn't know you would call it a medallion quilt. All right. Next row done. Again, I'll cut all the excess off the dog ears and stuff when I go to sew the rows together. Next row. These ones are going to go the opposite direction. This is my row that has the selvage in it. But again, that's okay. As long as it's not showing. Should be fine. All right, try to match this up. Matches up just fine.
The winner of the last quilt show you went to a medallion?
The winner of the last quilt show I went to a medallion. No, that was the last quilt show I went to was QuiltCon, and the winning quilt was a whatchamacallit, what's the word for it? A lady, like the statue that's in South Dakota or something like that.
Yeah, you showed me the picture.
She was holding a quilt behind her. It was an American Indian woman with a quilt, covering herself with a quilt. I don't remember the lady's name, but she does all paper piecing and designs paper piecing stuff.
Tell them our quilt show in town's coming up.
Yep, our quilt show here is coming up, so that those of you that want to meet in person and live in the tri-state area of here, we have a show coming up the 5th, 6th, and 7th of February. I will be entering that, and that's here in Havasu, which is west coast side of Arizona. So if you're in the Phoenix or even, lower Vegas, Southern California areas, and you just want to come take a day trip or even a weekend trip to here, then there's that show. And then the end of February, I will be in Virginia. Well, actually, I'll be in North Carolina first. Making sure that's seen the opposite of that one. I'll be in North Carolina for QuiltCon. I don't remember the dates of that offhand, but I will be there. And then I'm pretty sure that while I'm there, Becca and Ian and I will end up going to the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Show also, which we did last time I was there. And that will be in Virginia.
February 19th to 23rd is QuiltCon.
Okay, February 19th through 23rd, I will be in North Carolina for QuiltCon. So those of you East Coasters, get your tickets now so that you can meet me there, hang out. You get the most chance of hanging out with me at the shows because I linger around all day. I don't just come and walk around and say, okay, I'm done. I'm literally there all 4 days. And I'm easy to be found because I'm on a scooter because I can't walk long distances anymore. So that's how I will be found. Just wandering around, doing my thing. And then the Mid-Atlantic one, I don't remember when that's at, but it's usually while I'm in Virginia. And that one's in Virginia Beach, or around Virginia Beach. I don't know Virginia very well. I don't know North Carolina well at all. I just know it's in Raleigh. I'm starting to get pooped already.
Take it easy. You need to sit down and take a break.
I think I told you guys this on Breakfast at Tiffany's on Thursday. I found out that the neuropathy was getting worse because I was wondering why there's so much extra pain in my legs and my feet. And it's just because the neuropathy is worse than it used to be. So it's making a lot of things with my legs harder. All my exercises are harder than they used to be. Getting up and down from chairs is getting harder. Standing here is getting harder. And I was told a long time ago that I would probably lose the use of my legs having MS.
Is there a secret to lining up the corners of triangles and diamonds?
Is there a secret to lining up the corners? What do you mean lining up the corners? Like, you mean getting these seams?
Okay, the question is, my brain has trouble getting the corners lined up straight. Is there a secret to it?
Usually if they're if the tips are chopped off, means instead of a point right here and it's blunt because you had a blunt. Can you pass me that triangle behind you? It's backwards on the wall. It's next to the blue, in between the blue scissors. Over, that one.
This one?
Yep. He's going to hold it up to the camera for you. The blunt end, if you cut that blunt end off of every single triangle, then that allows you to match your ends up better instead of trying to hang over a 1/4 of an inch and hope that that's in the right spot. Those blunt edges are there for a reason. It helps everything line up. Like some of these, I have them cut off and some of them I do not. But it allows this to lay on top of each other, flush up here and flush right here. So it keeps things together a lot better when it comes to triangles. And you can do the same thing with diamonds.
She wants it so you don't lose the tips.
Oh, so you have to cut the dog ears off?
I don't know.
Or she's talking about matching this section right here. If everything is pressed towards this color, this background color, then this should have nested right up. They would be in opposite directions of each other so that you don't lose your points. So you would nest it sideways. So the seam is going this way and that seam is going the other way.
See that far back?
See? I mean, they're not the best, but
Okay, now turn around.
so you can see they were in opposite directions when I pressed everything. So that's how that works. So I just line up the nesting of the seam just like you're nesting any other seam right here. I'm just lining that up to each other and then sewing. And I try to aim at the, point section. So here's where it comes together, but here's where the seam is, where the 2 points come together. I aim before the 2 points. It's not always perfect, but I could do worse. Which way am I pressing? That way. That's one thing, on diamonds I can do, but triangles I struggle with. But as long as you have them, they'll match right up, if they're in opposite directions. That goes with the blunt end. This goes with the hanging over a 1/4 inch. That end is not cut off. And you know, I kind of like a little bit of wonkiness in my quilts, because if it's perfect, then I don't know, it just isn't right in my brain. The imperfect, the better. Next. And I lose points quite often. And guess what? I'm still sewing. I never gave up.
The wonkiness adds to the beauty, right?
Yeah, the wonkiness adds to the beauty. Okay, now I'm pressing this way. Right? Which way was that one? That way. So this one is this way. Okay. I'm not a snickler for things, you know? If it's not perfect, I don't usually rip it out unless it's like completely out of whack. Then maybe I will rip it. But not always. Those are so wonky, but guess what? I'm leaving it. I'd rather have a finished quilt than a perfect quilt. I give you guys the tools on how to do it, and you can perfect how to make it right. It's these blocks right here that are a little on the wonky side of all the blocks that I made. It's the ones that have the most pieces.
Do you start?
I only starch when I feel I need to. So no, I don't really starch. I don't really feel I need to, although it probably would have been better if I did, because I am using triangles right now. That would have been a smarter move on my behalf, but you know, whatever. It's whatever it is. Mainly when There's a lot of bias, but I didn't with these because I didn't make up my mind on what I was going to do with the fat quarters until I was on live with you guys. Then I decided, hey, let's do triangles. So if I would have known what I was going to do right off the bat, then I would have starched it all. And then I would have had a lot better outcome with my project here. And you can starch after you make your blocks too. You don't have to starch beforehand. You can make the, blocks and then starch every single one of them so they all come down to the right size. Three more and then I'm going to sit.
The old Morocco iron's still kicking.
Yeah. This old iron is probably going to go longer than any iron I've ever had. Sneeze.
I guess this is if you would. Do you starch the yardage or you?
Huh?
I guess this question would be if you did starch.
If I did starch, I would starch the yardage, not each piece. So you don't, if you're going to starch your fabric, starch it before you cut it. So if you have, say, 10 fat quarters to make this project or any other project, and you have 10 fat quarters, what got on that? Oh, well, I'm piecing it anyway. Then I would starch everything prior to cutting it out. If you starch after you cut it, you can change the size of your pieces. And because starch is, makes things shrink, you can change the size of your pieces and then nothing will fit properly. And that's not what you want. So starch before. So say you wash your fabric, if you are a pre-washer, then pre-wash and then starch all your fabric so it's nice and stiff. Sorry, I had to go over that again. I skimped out on my 1/4-inch seam. I didn't make it as 1/4-inchy as it was supposed to be. Still don't know what got on that block. All right, I'm going to sit down after I put this piece on because I'm pooped and I barely even did anything so far. Okay. Oh. All right. 3 rows left to piece, and then I'm going to trim off all the dog ears. And
You need water or juice?
no, I'm good for now. Sounds like the bottom is running low. Pressing this way. Oh man, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh well, I'm leaving it. Flip the seam, but the iron should make it a little flat. I haven't been doing that this whole time. No seams flipping until just now. I feel like we've gone quiet again. If you guys have any questions, you can ask. I can't answer everything, but I try. What'd you say?
What size are you making this quilt?
What size? I have no idea what size it's going to be. I can give you a rough estimate by doing this.
Can I get tape measure? Easier?
Right there. Rough estimate. 55.5 inches wide. There's the rough estimate. Don't know long yet because it's not sewn together. It's going to be a lap size. It looks bigger when it was all on the wall, but it's just going to be a lap. 10 fat quarters makes a lap quilt plus my less than 3 yards so far because that's what I had, right? No, I had 2. How much yardage did I have? I had 3 yards. So 10 fat quarters and 3 yards, and this is what I get so far. Is a almost lap quilt. Once it's sewn together, it'll be a lap quilt. I have lost like 90% of the points in this quilt, but guess what?
What's your favorite size quilt to make?
My favorite size quilt to make is king, even though I don't even have a king size bed. I like to make big quilts. My next favorite size is queen because I like big quilts, but for video's sake, we make a lot of laps and twins and wall hangings. Not supposed to happen. Seam ripper. I can't see. I'm trying not to pull too much because this is bias edge that this side is ending up on. Stay the way you are pressed. Thank you.
Is there a different technique for making 45-degree triangles to 60-degree triangles?
45 triangles to 60. Well, you can't put 45s and 60s together unless you're foundation paper piecing of some sort.
Is there a difference in making a 45?
Is there a difference making a 45 to 60? No, it's still going to be the same.
Sewing technique.
I have a 45 over there. The 45 is just tighter in, so this would be about right here and right here instead, like that, instead of out this far. This is equilateral. 45 won't be equilateral. But they're still going to go together the same way. You still make rows of them. And they're still in opposite directions. So one is up right side up, one is upside down. It just, you're going to get a totally different look.
I have a quilt I made. It has borders already. My center star is not so defined. Do you think I can undo just the center?
Say that again.
I have a quilt I made. The borders already. My star is not the center. Is in the star. It's not so defined. Do you think I can just undo the center?
You can take the center out. You can make a whole entire quilt top and say I screwed it, nothing up except for this piece right here. You can rip out just that piece. You find the section you want on the back side of it, rip that section out, and then backwards piece it together from the way you picked it out. So if I picked it out this way, then that way, then I'm going to put it together this way, and this way, inserting the piece back in or the new piece or whatever you need to do. You can surely just rip out one piece. I've done that before, actually, on quite a few quilts. And I even noticed a block backwards, the wrong direction. I don't know how that happened. I didn't notice it when I put it on the long arm, but before I laid it on the long arm, spread it out, got ready to base it, and I was like, oh, that whole entire block is backwards. So I just ripped it out, put it in the right way. It was somebody else's quilt. Some things get put together quickly and you don't even see it. So I've fixed it before, but once I start quilting it, I can't take them apart and fix those. And I did run out. I knew I heard the bobbin make a noise. Find a not colored bobbin though. I sewed with black on two pieces accidentally because I forgot to take the black bobbin out when I was piecing the other pieces together, the last of it, off camera. It's like, oh man, that's okay though. I left it. Do you know where they are? I don't.
Have you made a kaleidoscope quilt?
A kaleidoscope quilt? No, that would be the same.
I thought you did.
No, it would be the same as the One Block Wonder. A kaleidoscope quilt and the One Block Wonder quilt are exactly the same. So no, I have not made either of those. I kind of want to make one, but out of panels, buy a bunch of the same panels and then, create it from panels. But then I was like, maybe I should just do yardage, but I don't want to have to match that up. Feels like it's just too much extra work for me, But I've seen them made out of panels, like giant butterflies or flowers or something, and they look amazing. I just haven't done it. Haven't done it. 2 more.
Around the yard now in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're going to be having a yard sale in 2 weeks. We're going to be busy doing other things, not sewing related. Well, he will be doing other things. I'll probably still be in the house sewing. Probably just getting long arm jobs done and stuff, you know. I forgot to finish sewing my sleeves on because I got to get my paperwork in for the quilt show. So I got to finish that so that I can take a couple pictures and go get them printed. Since I don't own a printer, I'm going to take them down to like Walgreens or CVS? Walgreens, I think.
CVS, Walgreens, or Walmart.
Or Walmart. I don't really want to drive all the way out to Walmart for it though and get some pictures developed because I have to turn my paperwork in with pictures of the quilt that I'm entering. I just have one last sleeve to put on, one last quilt since I never got Sculliver done in time. So I'm entering Salsa, the Salsa quilt.
When's our local one?
Fifth, the local show is the 5th, 6th, and 7th.
5th and 7th, yeah. 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yep, the local show is the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And I will have the Dream Big quilt and my big giant star quilt. It's like a mariner star. And then Salsa. And if you don't remember what Salsa is, I have it literally right next to me. So, because I got the sleeve made, I just got to hand sew it on. I'm not the greatest hand sewer. But I did the other one, half of it, while sitting here. And then I was like, Scott, I'm just going to lay in bed. We'll watch the movie and I'll put the quilt on top of me and hand sew the rest. This is Salsa. So this is my 3rd show entry. Oops, I don't want to stab myself because I got the sleeve pinned on. So that is my 3rd show entry. Since I meant to do this for a show anyway, and you can see it's fancy quilting. I got my sleeve sewn or pinned on, sewn together and pinned on. I just got to hand stitch it now. So there's that. That's what I'll be entering. It's fancy stitching. The back is just scrappy. It's made from my homemade yardage. But as soon as I get a chance to sit and sew that on, I'm just going to sit in bed and sew it. But I can't take the time to do it right now because, well, I'm doing other things. It doesn't have to be a pretty quilt that you enter in the show, but I made that one pretty by putting fancy quilting on it.
It is amazing.
It's an awesome quilt, though, because it's salsa. It's the 3 colors of salsa. So it came out awesome. Hence the name. Me being me. That's what that is. Simple design turned into fancy quilting. Will it win anything? Probably not. But at least I'm having fun entering stuff like that. And had fun making it too. This is the part that's taking the longest. Once I trim those rows and sew them together, they probably won't take as long as this. I feel like I'm taking forever. But then I'm also in slow-mo, my body, today. Today's not a good day. I didn't even want to get out of bed this morning. I stayed in bed until like 9. Then got back in bed at 10. Like 10:30 actually. And until right before 2.
Yeah, then we watched church in bed.
Yeah, I watched church
TV.
from bed today because I didn't even want to go. I'm just pooped. It's a blessing that they do it online because a lot of churches do that now, the online live stream service. Because there are people that can't get out of bed some days, Mine just happened to be today that I couldn't get out of bed. Just too tired. I was pretty much being lazy until live stream. This is the only thing I'll accomplish today. But that's okay. At least it's getting done. No idea what's going on there. That's weird. Oh, I almost pieced that one upside down. Right sides together, Tiffany. Legs itch. Okay, one more row now. And it shouldn't be too hard. There's only a couple blocks with seams in that row. And then we'll trim the rows to make them a little bit nicer since they're a little on the funky side with the dog ears hanging over, Get all that all straightened up, and there's one block right here and this one, the couple rows up, that's very wonky right here at this edge. Probably should have paid more attention when piecing it, but guess what? I didn't. That one was going. Okay, this one goes this way. Okay, now press. it's really, really nice to have a design wall because that way I'm not like getting up and down off of a floor or having to get it off of a bed or stack all the blocks up and then forget which direction something is going. Just pick it up and sew off the wall. Highly, highly recommend. And you know, my design wall, all it is 100% cotton batting. And you know those little pushy thumbtacks? It's holding it up high where I can't reach, so those were kind of out of the whatever. It's not even a straight cut piece either. It's kind of funky, but you know, it stays up on the wall and then it's tucked behind the shelves, although it comes out often now because it's a lot more wrinkled than it used to be. But it's still up there.
What city in Virginia is the quilt show there? Do you know?
The Virginia Beach or something like that. It's somewhere near Virginia Beach.
Yeah, QuiltCon's in North Carolina. Right?
QuiltCon is in North Carolina, but the Mid-Atlantic, just Google search it, Mid-Atlantic Quilt. I don't know if it's called Mid-Atlantic or... I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I've only been to that once. I go to QuiltCon every year, but... In 2027, though, I'm mixing it up. In 2027, I am going to go... I'm determined... Didn't say I'm actually going yet, but I am determined to go to Houston Quilt Festival, the International Quilt Festival, in 2027. And then also in 2027, I am gung-ho on going to the Road to California show in California. Because I can only do a few a year, you know, because travel does cost a lot, so. But it'll give more chances for more people in certain areas to see me. And for me to see other things other than, you know, modern quilts from QuiltCon. I love modern quilts, don't get me wrong, but, you know, after so many shows, I need a break from QuiltCon quilts. From modern quilts. I need to go back into my traditional quilts. And if you ask me what I like the best, I'll tell you both, because I like both styles. I like traditional quilts and I like modern quilts equally. And anything could be a show quilt, because I've seen so many different quilts that, you know, anything goes. Only a few more pieces to piece of this, and then I can move on.
Is QuiltCon good?
QuiltCon is a good show, yes, very good show. And that's why I go every year. But I'm not going in 2027. It'll be in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm just not going to go. I'm going to give 2027 to things I haven't done yet, which is the International Quilt Festival and the Road to California. Although I could do Road to California any year, because that I can drive to and stay at my aunt's house. So I don't have to do anything for that, honestly, because my aunt lives in Southern California, so I could stay at her house while I go to the show, you know. She'd probably want to go with me, too. She'd be like, oh, look at this, so much fun, you know. She's not a quilter or anything, but she would have fun. She owns a lot of the quilts I've made. She has fancy quilted ones and non-fancy quilted ones that I've made. She loves them all. Okay, I'm going to pick up both these pieces, or else I'm going to be reaching down there and getting my chair stuck again. My chair likes to get stuck on the second mat that's on top of the first one, because it's starting to roll up on the edges. Highly annoying.
For the exercise video. How about that?
Huh?
One lady, thank you for the exercise video Thursday.
Oh,
About
thank
that.
you. I'm so glad I was able to do that. I should have done that years ago. I've been exercising for years, you know, and I should have given you guys an exercise video a long, long time ago because I do all these things here in my quilt room, and Scott always says, make a video of it, make a video. I'm like, nobody's going to watch me exercise, you know, because it's not really that exciting. It's just, it keeps me healthy. And people have asked over the years, how do you stay healthy and how do I get the energy that I have when I make quilts? Well, it's because I figured out a way to work out in my sewing room. So if you guys are interested in some of the workouts, it's not even the whole thing. It's just some things to get you started. If you are interested in what I am talking about right now, it was Thursday's video for Breakfast at Tiffany's. It says, New Year, New You. Or New Healthy You. And that doesn't mean just healthy by eating healthy or exercising the exercise. That means healthy quilting, because if you haven't noticed, we sit in our chairs quite a bit, and literally, what am I doing? Sliding back and forth from an iron to a chair. You got to get up and move around. It's just part of the thing. So I gave you guys some tools to help with mobility, which helps me because it keeps me able to make videos for you guys. The only time I don't work out is when, like today, I feel like poop. Had a bad day to start. All right, I'm going to start with this row. You can take my iron vent somewhere. I don't need it right this second. I could stay on, but it just needs to be out of my way.
So, do you not need me to move it down?
No, it's fine. I can stay right there now. I'm going to trim this dog ears off of all this real quick. Let's grab a little, doesn't matter if it's a little or a big ruler.
I'm making a rag quilt. Is it better to use flannel instead of any other fabric?
For rag quilts, I do suggest flannel because it rags better. Regular fabric just makes a mess because if you haven't noticed, cotton comes undone and it makes a big mess. If you're going to use that, then I would use pinking shears, but then that would look really weird. I've seen them done that way though, with pinking shears. Not saying that's a bad thing. You can do whatever you want. It's your quilt, but when it comes to rag quilts, I highly suggest using the word again, flannel.
Do you want me to unplug the iron or you still use it?
No, I'm going to still use it because I'm going to start piecing these together.
Okay.
I'm just trimming off the excess so that these are flat. Even though I'm going to lose points, I don't care. As long as they're flat. I'm literally taking millimeters off some areas where sticking out a lot. All right, now if I can remember correctly, this one goes on this side right here, and that one on that side right there. Let's trim this row. Just getting rid of the dog ears and any excess overlap. Pretty good. Other side.
Hold on a minute. Isn't this one here still sticking out or no?
No, that'll fit in the seam allowance.
Oh, okay. Okay, then I'll stop.
That off. I'm mainly getting the dog ears and anything that's hanging over drastically, which isn't much. That was on this side. You can put 2 layers of batting in any quilt, yes. Right? That's the way it was. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, I'm going to sew those 2 together since they were trimmed. And there it went. You stupid, stupid, stupid thing. since I pressed everything in opposite directions, every single seam that comes together, this one shall nest with this one because they're in opposite directions all the way down. Because everything was opposite. So all I have to do is line those up, hold it down, sew to that seam, find the next one, line it up. I'm going to hold it as if it was pinned. You can pin. I don't like to pin. This one, nest it up, line that point up right there. Stuck. Oh, that doesn't have anything right there. And then this seam right here. Up.
Is it necessary to use batting as well as flannel in the rag?
You don't have to use batting on a rag quilt if you're doing flannel one. If it's 2 layers of flannel, you don't have to have. The only reason why I do that, not only is it weight, so it becomes a weighted quilt also, but it just looks better. I think with the puff that, look in the middle. All right, which way does this go? So I know which way I'm pressing. That was the bottom? No, that's the bottom. All right, let me press this real quick over here. I'll put it back on the wall. Grab some more, trim them, piece them. It ain't perfect, but it's going to be done. Okay, so 2 rows are together. Try not to stretch them because they are stretchy at this point. Some of these are like more stretchy than others. Dog ears gone. Dog ears gone. Opposite way. I'm making quite a mess here, but guess what? I'm gonna clean it up. Completely lost that point. Gone. And more trim right here. Put this back on the wall momentarily. I can trim the other one and then we'll put those 2 together. This is the one that's super wonky.
How do you handle working with white and seeing all the threads?
How do I
Quilt
handle
with
working
black
with
and white?
I don't.
A mess of threads showing behind whites, been trimming them all day. If you have two different colors, white and another and a dark color, and you see the threads, how do you handle that?
I have a little pick when I'm quilting. I have the smallest crochet hook ever in the world, the tiniest one. That's for if you want to quilt thread. I mean crochet thread. It's the tiniest little thing. I poke it in and I pull the thread out. But normally, if say a lot of these pieces were white and I have all this thread behind it, I would normally get rid of all those threads first. If they're coming off the seams, I would clip them and make it as, empty as possible before even quilting it. So I would just take snips to that. But I would usually use a coordinating thread. So if the main color is white in the quilt, I'm just going to use a white thread instead of a dark thread. So if your other color is dark, then use the white thread instead of the dark. That way, if it's a white thread behind white fabric, it's not going to matter. If your fabric is shedding or shredding, the edges, how they fray, shredding, fray, same difference, then use some anti-fray stuff. They sell this anti-fray stuff on the edges of your seams. Pluck all the excess out and then put the anti-fray on the edge. And then by the time you get to quilting it, it shouldn't be bad. All your threads should still be off. I think it's a stuff called Fray No More. But you can also pluck it all. It's going to come back by the time you move the quilt again. Every time you move it or adjust it or lift it or whatever, it's just going to get messy. That's why I usually recommend don't play with your quilt tops until they're quilted. Don't keep showing it off, taking it to the guild and showing everyone and showing all 500 people that come visit you and stuff. Just once you're finished with it, fold it up, put it away, and then it shouldn't be totally messy. Like this one. It's got white fabric, but it's not fraying. I'll hold it up for you guys, and that's as far as it's gonna go. Alright, that was the top one. This was the bottom one, I think. Kind of hard to remember. Fray check, yeah.
Yep.
I have some somewhere around here. I just never use it. The only time it ever bothers me is if I mix black with white. And, and black fabric frays under the white. Other than that, these light colors don't bother me.
You want me to plug that in over here now?
Oh, yeah. Nope, that does not go on that side because those two pieces are the same. Goes this way. Huh?
Is this good plugged in over here now?
Yeah.
Really getting the cord extended there.
Okay. And the only time, honestly, we'll talk about these threads, this wall is covered in every thread known to man. And I have white fabrics up here. The only time you're really going to see them, if they're laying on the bed and stuff, you're really not going to see it, is if you add a light. You're holding it up in front of a window, you're going to see right through it, batting and all. If you're holding it up and there's a light directly behind you, you're going to see right through it, and that's where you're going to see the threads. You don't really see them when you're in this step or when it's quilted and it's laying on a bed, That's the word I was looking for. There. Oh, do I have a row that's not horrible? Just a little bit right there. A little dog ear right there. It's back on the wall or else I'm going to forget. This one. You see how not so accurate I am doing this?
It's looking good. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, I'm doing a good job. It's only the ones that have these multi-pieced ones that are super funky. I don't know how that happened. I probably should have fixed those by trimming them before sewing them. This on top of this, like that, and sew it. All right. Press it. Or did I what? Hole for my thread? It's built onto the machine.
On the machine.
It's part of the machine. That's the way the thread comes off the machine.
in your hand?
That one was the bottom. Oh, duh. Put it back for 2 seconds while I trim this final one, and then we'll put those two together. Whew, this one's the funky one. We're going to make that work somehow, some way. The rest of the way down. So this row is going to be shorter than the others, but that's only because I had a mishap in this one. But we're going to make it work. It's only going to be 1/8 of an inch shorter. That's how much I cut off. Okay, that bottom one goes underneath this one. And it gets sewn like this. All right, I'm going to press it, and then we'll start hooking all these rows together. Well, the sets of twos. I'm going to make sure real quick and see that does not go that way. It was this way. The reason why I remember is the solids were on the outer side. Oh goodness, stay. Okay, so now this one on top this, then these on top that, and then put the two together. Just going to nest all my seams.
To the class in Australia, are they going to be buying the kits?
On the trip to Alaska,
Yeah.
you guys can buy a kit, put together the thing on your own. You will know everything, I think, 90 days prior to because we're going to do some online Zoom meetings or whatever. I totally forgot all about that. Yeah. I don't even have any of it. Becca and Ian do. I don't know if they've got their quilts done, but I know that the pattern is out and they bought their fabrics. I haven't yet, but everything will be known beforehand. So you'll still have time to buy or get a kit if Becca is going to be cutting kits for it. I'm not 100% sure. We don't talk every day, so I can't tell you all the things that come up.
Right?
Yeah, and there's in Seattle.
Yeah, there's a shop.
Yeah, we'll be doing a day before the day before we leave shop hop thing. There's all sorts of things that are going to be happening, and all the excursions and stuff are announced 90 days prior to, and you have to ask the people that run the cruise thing, because I don't know it all, and I have a hard time remembering all the different stuff. I just know it's a trip to Alaska, and I'm teaching you how to make a bargello. Everything else, we'll know later. Because I don't know. So if you're interested in the trip, in the description of every single one of my videos and on my About Me page are links to the cruise information. There are still spots available. So get your spots now. I know some people are still on the fence money-wise and stuff, but let me tell you, we're going to be cruising on the most newest, innovative ship called the Celebrity Edge. We were upgraded to that. We are going to Alaska, which is a once-in-a-lifetime cruise to go on anyway, for those that, have never been, which I haven't, and neither is Becca, neither is Ian, and neither is the people that are going so far. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of trip. It's going to be well worth our time. You don't even have to sew all the days, although there will be sewing machines set up. You won't even have to sew all the days. You can go and explore on all the whatevers and only sew on the sewing days. Or you can sew all day, every day, which is probably what I'm going to do because I'm not really an excursion kind of girl. I can't do those things. I'll have a scooter, but that's about it. All right, now I'm going to hook this one on top of this one. And then... Looks right? Yeah, okay. And then hook all of them together. And then cut out some border fabric. Okay.
Does your machine hang up on your seam?
Did my machine hang up on my seams? No. Now I'm just going to lay this right here because I know this is the way it goes. Place this on top of it. And then we'll cut some borders, attach them. Well, actually, I got to trim the sides because some of the little side pieces weren't cut exact. Why? Because, well, I was in a hurry before the live stream to get situated stuff. Especially getting it laid out because, you know, it takes a while. And then you're like, oh, got to move this one. Oh, got to move that one. Oh, this one's not in the right spot. Nope, can't have two of those next to each other. That's pretty much what I was doing for like, I don't know, 30 minutes before the live. Getting that set up. But now if anything moved around or I put anything upside down, that's not my fault. Guess what? I don't care. Because it's just going to have to stay. I'm not picking it out. I'm not picking out the fact that I've lost a lot of my points or any of it. I really don't care. It's going to be a nice quilt. It'll get quilted up. And eventually it'll keep somebody warm. And that's all that matters. Yeah, in the description below the video is where you'll find stuff about the cruise or on my About Me page. And before I press this, I will go to show you, if you're on a computer, it will be the More button, which I'll show you in a second. But if you are on a cell phone, X out the chat, just like that. Then you go to this More button. Do you see where it says More? Let me move my finger so it'll focus. Right there above the save, there's a More button. Hit that, and then you hit this More button right here. And that opens anything and everything that I put in a description. The first thing on all of them is the cruise. You will just hit that button and it'll take you to the cruise shipy stuff. And then this one itself, when it opens, it'll open up a document and it'll have all the stuff about the cruise. And then if you just scroll, which is not doing it because my phone has horrible internet. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's little clickable links. If you click that, it'll open the web page to sign up for it. That's just the form to tell you about it. But anytime you see this RGE logo, you can just click on the logo and it'll take you to it also. Okay? And if you're on a computer, most people don't know, but below the live stream, so here's the video. If you go below it, just take this down a little bit. Right here, where it says how many is watching, there's a More button. You just actually click on that, and it'll open it up, and then you just click on the computer stuff, and then that goes right to it. That is how you find those things. Anytime I say something is in the description below the video, just hit the More button. And if it's on my About Me page, it would be on Tiffany's Quilting Life page. Scroll all up here to More, right underneath my main picture. You just hit the More button, and it'll have that stuff there too. And it'll have all sorts of links to things and everything. Just
well, tell them to click on that link right there.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, don't email
Click-
us because we don't know the answer.
click the link in the description. If you have any questions, click on RGE's logo and ask them questions about things because I don't know all the things. I've never been on a cruise. I don't know nothing about nothing.
Yeah.
I
have any
I don't
malice.
even know
We
how
don't
much
know
it
anything.
costs. I just know that it's a cruise to Alaska and so on and so forth. I don't know anything. I mean, I have a video that I put out about it and showed you guys how to find those links and stuff. But other than that, I don't know nothing about nothing. I am clueless. I know I'm going. That's all I know. I know I try to pay attention to that stuff, but by the time I'm done with our video chats that we have monthly, I don't even remember what the next month is. You know what I mean? I don't remember any of the things they talked about or nothing. I have a very, very, very bad memory. I remember quilt stuff, which is weird, but not all either. Sometimes I have to ask questions, and then I have word jumbling problems with it. But when it comes to remembering anything else, everyday life, I never remember. A bad time remembering things. All right, let me see. How bad is the sides? It's only slightly off. What I'm going to do is straighten my sides. We're going to cut some of the peach first. I'm going to go around it with peach with a 2.5-inch border, and then I will go around it with the other one with a 5.5-inch border. But for now, I'm just going to make it nice and straight. Sticking out just a slight bit. That one's slightly sticking out. There. Okay. It was just the side pieces from the orange or peach color was perfect. It's the ones I cut from the leftover squares. Oh, that side's great. Okay. So here's this. I'm going to go ahead and pretend I know what I'm talking about and count on my fingers how many strips I need to go all the way around. I need, it's very stretchy at this moment. At this point it is, can I have my measuring tape please? So I can see how big it is at this point real quick in case you don't want to add borders.
Hey, I'm coming. I'm coming.
It's not fully smoothed out. What are we at?
55.
55 inches by fully smoothed out-ish. Right there.
63.
By 63. 55 by 63 with no borders. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 7 2.5-inch strips, or 8 just to be safe, you know, because go ahead and just honestly fold it and cut 2.5-inch strips off of it.
There you go.
With my whatchamacallit ruler.
The whatchamacallit ruler?
Yeah, the stripology thing that I have. All right.
The whatchamacallit?
Yep, my stripology mess thingy. All right, line that up. It's nice and straight. Straight on the fold, straight on that fold. Okay, we're going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2.5-inch strips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My 8 2.5-inch strips. So my 3 yards still had 3/4 of a yard left. Although it might not have been exactly 3 yards. I wrote 3 yards on the thing, but whatever. All right. Oh. slide it this way. I'm going to do my borders the same way I always do borders. I'm just going to sew them on. I'm not going to do anything fancy because I'm quilting it myself. So I don't need to measure, you know. I hate to do that. It just drives me nuts to pre-measure everything, cut it all exact when I can just sew it on. I don't really ever have wavy borders. I did when I first started quilting, but guess what I did then? I measured. Nothing against those who measure. This is just how I do things. I'm going to cut the selvage off. Stack them. Move one piece out of the way, and then they should be right sides together every 2 pieces. Oops, I don't know why I did that. Because I'm overly tired. You know, when you start getting fatigue, you shouldn't be sewing anymore. You should just stop for the day. Is it? Okay, well, let me at least sew these and I'll lay them up there so that they can at least get the general idea of what it's going to look like. Then the last 2, and there's always one left. Snip them apart. There's one more that needs to be snipped because I accidentally thread cut that. So this will go on the sides first. Just lay that up there momentarily so you get the general idea. And then with this border, I'm going to just cut one off of here. I'm going to cut 5.5 so that it finishes at 5. Because I have plenty of this. I have 2 yards and 7 inches of it. Oh, nope, that didn't get it all. Right there. All 4 layers. Perfect. Right? Yep.
We'll get there.
All right, so I'm just going to cut 5.5 just so that I can lay this up on the wall so that you can see. Nice big border. So that's what it will look like. Oh, that's perfect. Right? Look at that. It reminds me of another quilt that I made with these same colors. What quilt did I make with these same colors?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I made a quilt with all these exact same colors. Not the one that was the Hunter Star that I entered into the show, because that was the same color. No, that one was butter color. Never mind. What's the other one that was this color? I don't remember. Either way, I will cut 8 of those as well, and then I will have a however big quilt, because I don't even remember the numbers I just told you. So that's that. I will sew these off camera, and if you ask me next week, maybe I'll pull it out and show you that it's done, because I'm not sewing anymore. We're done for the day. All right. What else? Anything else?
I think that's it. Ask me if you have any questions.
Any questions? Oh, I can show them before. Did I show them all my finished quilts?
Well,
I did the other day when I bound them. Never mind.
Yeah, you bound them so they sell.
Well, I bind it with probably this. Why? Because there's still 3/4 of a yard left. So I will probably bind it using the peach. That way I don't have to grab any other colors. It's already there. It's already done. Whatever. And then the back, I'll probably even find like a pale yellow or a peachy color backing fabric too, just to keep the whole mood, you know, subdued colors, because it's not very bright. It's very subdued. I think it looks awesome. And you know, I don't even care that it's missing a lot of points, guys. This is the most sloppiest I have pieced something in a long time. But guess what? The top is almost 100% completely done. And that's it. That's all that matters, right? This is, yeah. It's good. It's good. It'll be good. And I have no idea how I'm going to quilt it. Since there's so many angles with the triangles, I'll probably do something circular because I tend to do that. With angular quilts, I do circular stuff. And with circular fabrics, I'll do angled stuff, quilting, you know? So, all right.
I think that's it.
All right, guys. Well, thank y'all for hanging out, and I will see you next Sunday for whatever it is I start next Sunday. Remind me if you want to see this. Just remind me, and I'll bring it out. I'll take it out to hang it up so you guys can see it. Other than that, I don't know what else we're gonna do because I don't pre-plan. I never know.
You'll have a video or something.
See you guys later. Bye.